I went from insanely skinny and weak to mastering handstand push-ups. In this process, I understood what is necessary to learn this skill, and especially because I started weaker than most people, I know that my strategy works. It worked for me and it did for many of my subscribers. So now I'm sharing my 3-step strategy to unlock the handstand push-up. When trying to learn the handstand push-up, usually there are 2 problems. The first problem is that you just cannot seem to find your balance in the handstand. You try to kick up into a handstand and then you fall off. And the second problem is that you are not strong enough to pull your entire body weight above your head. So in order to unlock the handstand push-up, we just need to find solutions to these 2 problems: lack of balance and lack of strength. And that brings us to step 1 to unlock the handstand push-up, is building a good handstand. The only thing you need to be able to do a handstand push-up when it comes to the balance is being comfortable in holding a handstand. So you need to get to a point where you get on the ground and you're able to do a handstand most of the times. Generally, that's about 30 seconds. If you can hold a handstand for 30 seconds, that usually means that your handstand is solid enough and you can get into a handstand a lot of times. So how do you go from not being able to hold a handstand to actually being able to hold it? Well, the first thing you need to do is train a handstand against the wall. How does this fix everything? The problem right now is that when you try to get into a handstand, you're just doing attempts and over again, and you can never find the balance. And that happens because the handstand is actually 2 skills. It's being able to hold a handstand, and it's being able to kick into a handstand. And before being able to kick into a handstand, first you need to be able to hold the handstand. So the first order of deal to learn a handstand is not kicking up, is learning a handstand, and you do that by training against the wall. First, you train against the wall just to learn the proper alignment, and once the alignment is solid, then you start taking your feet off the wall one by one, trying to hold for time. This is the process that's going to take you from not being able to hold a handstand at all to getting your first holds. Once you start taking your feet off the wall and you get those first holds. In the beginning, this will seem impossible and you'll take your feet off and you're just going to fall right back. But then over time, you're going to start getting 1 and 2 second holds. This is a great sign of progress, and from there you just need to keep going, taking your feet off the wall until you can do about 20 seconds. Once you can do that for about 3 sets of 20 seconds, then you're ready to do kick-ups, not before. So get to a point where you can do at least 3 sets of 20 seconds where you take your feet off the wall and you manage to hold a handstand those 3 sets of 20 seconds. Once you get to the point, it's time to do attempts. And the 2 main form cues I'll give you here is set your belly button inwards and tighten up the glutes with 50% of your strength. So you see how you can control your stomach area? You should try to intentionally pull your belly button inwards when you're in a handstand, because this is going to prevent your arching from happening and give you that solid line. And to help with this, you're going to tighten up the glutes a bit to help with this process of straightening up the spine. However, not a full glute contraction, because that will ruin the wine and it'll just look weird. So the main 2 tips that I can give you when holding a handstand when you're kicking up is suck your belly inwards as if you're trying to get your belly button to touch your spine, and tighten up the glutes. And then step 2, building in a strength so you can press yourself above your head. The only thing you need to do to get to this point is to get strong at the military press until you can push 75% of your body weight for 5 reps. So train the military press once or twice a week, get strong every week until you can push 75% of your body weight for 5 reps. If your weight's 60 kilograms, that's 45 kilograms for 5 reps. Once you get to this point, you're strong enough to do 1 to 3 handstand push-ups. Strength will not be a problem at that point. How we progress the military press is training in a low rep range, in low sets, stay with the same weight for some time, and once that weight gets easier, then you add weights. You stay with that weight for some time until it becomes easy, then you add a little bit of weight, and you do this until you reach the milestone that I gave you. Then step 3, the final and most fun step, is to do attempts. And why? Because now that you can hold a handstand and you're strong enough to push your entire body weight above your head, all you need to do is try the movement. So you're going to get into a handstand and just go down, gently touch your nose on the ground or a few centimeters above from the ground, and then push yourself up. Just by doing attempts, after a few weeks, you should be able to do a handstand push-up. If you just keep doing attempts for some weeks after you have built these 2 main prerequisites, the balance and the strength, it's pretty much guaranteed that you'll unlock the handstand push-up. And from there, you just need to do attempts. Now, if you want a step-by-step guide to unlock the handstand push-up, where I give you the exact reps, stats, frequency, and all the steps you need, you can go to the first link in the description, where you'll find your own handstand push-up plan. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.